long we talking?
30 minutes. Welcome to the Kelly Patrick Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. In today's episode, I am joined by returning guest. I have Eddie Donaldson in studio with me. Eddie, thanks so much for coming back in.
Always a pleasure. It's the only show I do in town.
No, I appreciate that.
Dugan.
Gotta try to support the local MMA scene. I absolutely love it. It's a big week right now. We have this Friday, June 13th. LFA will be returning to Louisville, Freedom Hall. In studio with us today, we have Jeremy BadCombo Henry. BadCombo, thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate you for having me.
Now, Jeremy Henry, tell me a little bit about yourself. This is the first time I've got to chat with you. Tell me a little bit about your background. Where'd you come from? What sports did you play growing up? All the fun stuff. How'd you get to this point? You'll be fighting Friday.
Yes. Well, for starters, man, you can just call me BadCombo.
BadCombo. Okay.
All the way.
Why BadCombo? Let's dive into that. What do you mean bad? Not a good combo, but a bad combo?
Bad combination, BadCombo. I'm black, abundant, and devoted. You feel me? I was born, I'm alive, and I'm divine. You feel me? So I'm that bad. You feel me? I'm that kind of bad.
Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, bad combination. I'm the nation builder, you know what I'm saying? Supporting my team, my family, and everybody that support me. And that's the name that I built, you know what I'm saying, from scratch. So, I take pride in it, just like Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? I take pride in the name that I put onto my soul, my spirit, and the way I move.
What do you have with you here? It looks like you've got some serious hardware. I believe we got the video for the Kelly Patrick Show up and running, so we should have this on the YouTube channel. I've been working on that for a couple months now.
Yes.
But for those of our listeners who can also see what's going on, tell us about the belts you've got here. How did you go about earning all this hardware?
Well, last year I fought 7 times.
Wow.
Yes, and I attained 3 belts, 3 professional titles last year independently. And this was my first professional title at Future of Fighting here in Louisville, is where I became a 45 champion. And then I want to say Ohio Combat League was next, and then I went to Canada, Toronto, Canada, and fought for Unified MMA. And
Brought the belt home.
yes,
That's right. Represent the U.S.
So holding it down. And as far as like the sports I play, I didn't really get to play for any like official sports like school, but I was always an active. You know what I'm saying?
From Georgia?
I was born in Georgia, raised half of my life in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Bad combination.
Okay.
So that's how everything came about. I was born.
They know how to box a little bit in that area.
Oh yeah, we know how to throw down.
What was your first exposure? Because you get to this point of your MMA career, it's always intriguing, right, Eddie? This is a fascinating sport, really. When comparing it to basketball or baseball or football, you see someone in the major leagues, you're like, this kid's been probably playing baseball since he was little, specifically baseball. MMA, different story. At what age did you walk into an MMA gym? You're 31 now. How did that story go? What type of name? Is there anyone in particular that influenced you? How did that go?
Well, I always looked up to, Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali, but I grew up playing sports, out on the streets with the neighborhood, with the kids and stuff like that. Michigan and in Georgia.
Okay.
And I've been traveling, going back and forth school to school and stuff like that. That whole background, like my family and everything is good for the documentary. Y'all gonna really see the inside on.
You're gonna have a documentary at some point.
There's a documentary being processed and working on right now as we speak.
Okay. Anyone helping you with that?
I got some folks.
You got a team of people working on the Bad Combo documentary.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So back and forth, Georgia to Michigan. You weren't playing structured sports like on a school team a lot, but of course you were staying active.
Yes.
What, age 18, 19 after high school? At some point you pick up
19 turning 20.
Okay.
I joined the gym. My brother. So this is the story. This is how we got in the gym. My mother put my brother in the gym, and it was called the Dojo. He was in Detroit, Michigan. And I was like really happy for him. I was excited. So every time I would go visit my mother and my siblings and stuff, I kind of moved out at that time. I would always go home and ask my brother, like, you in the dojo? You know what I mean? We didn't growing up. We didn't have money or the funds to
Sure.
be a part of the. I'm the oldest out of 11, raised
Oh,
by a
damn.
single mother.
Damn.
So
11. Wow.
the priorities ain't gonna go to the.
Sure. Admittedly, it is kind of the type of sport where normally you got to pay at least one monthly gym fee. I mean, it's not quite like it's
Yeah.
offered, and unless I guess somehow you get into the school wrestling program, but that's not the most common path either.
Right. So growing up, I didn't have that opportunity because of the life dynamic and the struggle that we had was going through. So, my mother was able to get my brother into this gym, uh, and he would come home. Like, remember, we was active. We was very active young men growing up. Overprotective mother. So we turned the house into a jungle gym since we, you know, he'd come home and I'd be like, "What you doing there? Like, what y'all doing in the dojo? What you doing in the gym?" And this how he got me. He said, "Okay, get in the squat position." I was like, "All right, that's nothing. We work out for fun." He was like, "All right, I'm about to kick you in your stomach."
Mm.
I was like, "You ain't about to kick me in my stomach. I'm big brother. You know what I'm saying? You ain't just about to get no free lick.
You're the
Why,
biggest brother. Yeah.
why I'm in a squat position. You're not about to kick me in my stomach." He was like, "Okay, okay, okay, okay." I'm still excited. He was like, "All right, get back in the squat position." So I get back in the squat position, excited. I'm trying to figure out what he learning. He was like, "Okay, now I'm about to kick you in your legs." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "You ain't about to kick me in my legs, man." And I thought to myself, I was like, if I don't hurry up and get in the gym, he's gonna try
He's
to
going
be
to be
big
kicking
brother.
my ass at
He's
some
gonna be
point
trying
soon.
to. I don't know about kicking my ass,
Okay.
but he will be trying to be big brother, and it will
I
be.
see. How old was he at that time? You were about 18, 19?
He a year younger than me, so
Oh, okay. So
he
he's
was
close up
like
behind you.
19,
Okay.
18 at the
Okay.
time, and yeah, man, and that's where the story just like started.
Brought you into a gym and
Man, I hopped in the van one time when my mother and my brother was on their way to the gym. I ended up popping up at the house at the right time. I was like, "Where y'all about to go?" She's like, "Going to the gym.
Dojo.
Going to the
Yeah.
dojo." I jumped in the van with him, hopped out, went to the door, and
The rest is history.
the rest
Or
is
the
re-
rest is present.
the rest is for the
The
documentary.
rest is future.
Yes, sir, all the way.
That's right.
And that's how that started. And then the name came about. I told my I do music as well. So one of my music partners, my cousin, um, I told him I was born in the A, but I was raised half of my life in the D. He was like, "That's a bad combination."
oh,
And I
okay.
was like, "I like that
Okay.
name."
Okay.
And he was like, "You can't change your name no more." I used to change my rap name a lot, my music name so much. He was like, "You can't change your name no more." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna keep it." Years later, I get to the dojo. The head coach, the head trainer, he said, "What superhero you want to be? Who you want to be called?" And I was like, "Superheroes ain't real." You know what I'm saying? The real superheroes are Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X and
Okay.
what I'm
Okay.
saying, Dick Gregory and them. And I was like, you know what? I want to be bad combination. One, I had two left feet when I joined the gym. And then two,
Did you?
man,
What do you mean by that? You had 2 left feet.
it was really hard for me to get the footwork. It was
Okay.
really
That's
hard for me to
interesting
get
to
the
hear.
combinations and
Interesting to
stuff.
hear.
Like
Yeah.
I thought I would catch on real quick, but
Okay.
trying to find that stance and that footwork and stuff,
To hear you say that indicates you were humble from the beginning. You were like, "Oh shit, I got to dedicate myself to this."
very. I was in the gym for 4 to 12 hours, 6 to 7 days a week.
Who do you credit to helping you figure out the footwork type, the striking that it sounds like you were working through?
The team I was with, the gym I was at the time. I'd rather not speak on them.
That's fair, but that's
you
in
know,
Michigan. Yep.
in
But
Michigan,
they were
Detroit,
able to
Michigan.
help you.
I do appreciate, what I'm saying, the first 5 years of them, what I'm saying,
Fair enough.
supporting me
Fair
and
enough.
giving me the structure
But
and the
the
foundation.
important thing is you were able to get in there and say, "I'm not naturally nailing this. I'm not getting this immediately." You made some adjustments. At some point, you were like, "Oh shit, I'm pretty good at this."
Yeah.
How long did that take?
Well, I want to say I started maybe August, September. I had my first fight in March.
Okay, very very
You
quick
win or
turnaround.
lose.
I won
Okay.
with bad combinations.
That's right. That's right.
Very aggressive. And I told myself, like, bad combination, 0 and 1 don't sound good. And I went gun ho. And yeah, they told me I wasn't gonna fight until a year or two of training. I was like, no, I'm not gonna wait that long. And I knew that I was gonna be here. I knew that I had the mindset and the ability to do this in a way where I can help out my family. You know what I mean? I didn't have no time to waste. Here we are.
What can you tell me about your opponent for this Friday? Once again, June 13th. here at Freedom Hall, Louisville, Kentucky. Dakota Hope. I know you obviously, you don't want to come out and say exactly like what your game plan is, but if someone's listening, they're not familiar with the matchup, how would you describe that?
Well, I hope Mr. Hope come with all the hope he needs to do what he needs to do. He's been sponsored by Thailand, so I'm hoping Hope comes out standing or with a beautiful striking match, so we can really put on the show and show what we really working with. I come from a Muay Thai based gym, and I really love Muay Thai. So being able to fight a Muay Thai guy is real, real exhilarating. You know what I'm saying? I'm really hoping. But what the fans gonna be able to expect and see is pressure, aggression, and bad combinations. That's the best I can say. I hope they say he wanted a striker. Well, he got the best one.
Sounds like a potential fight of the night candidate if there's going to be two strikers, right? It doesn't sound like either of you guys are. You think there's going to be many shots?
I will hope so.
Okay, you're
I
ready
know.
for
I
that.
know. I'm throwing 1,000 shots
Okay,
each round.
okay. Not strikes, but I mean wrestling takedowns, maybe, or do you plan on taking it to the ground?
I plan on taking it wherever it goes.
Okay,
You know what I mean? I don't really force too much things. Whatever it sets up or whatever he falls into is what I'm gonna take.
okay.
And that's kind of how I flow and move. You know what I mean? But the goal is to fight as warriors. I ain't trying to roll around with another man laying on me and laying on him and all that type of stuff.
That's good news, I think, for the fans in
100%.
attendance. Yeah, I mean,
100%.
no shade at any of the jujitsu or wrestling specialists at all. A lot of them kick the shit out of me on a regular basis, so I'm not talking trash.
Yeah.
But you get a fan base together, Eddie, Louisville, Kentucky, Freedom Hall. Let's be honest, a lot of them want to see some striking.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They
that's
I mean,
came
I
for a
don't.
show.
I like watching it. I like watching it all. I just don't like when people don't do anything. If you're standing there and you're looking for the shot, or if you're kind of just holding the guy, trying to wait until he's tired, that's where I kind of get a little bit
sure. So if
impatient
you
or
get
frustrated.
him to the
But there's
ground, maybe you're
nothing
not
like
trying to
watching
finish
two
him.
guys roll that are going back and forth from
Yes.
submission to top to bottom. I mean, that's I've seen some badass fights that way where it's like you think he's done and then he flips to the good and it's the other side. So there's a lot of interesting stuff about grappling, and being
Oh
on the
yeah.
floor that I like to see. I
Oh yeah.
really like seeing a dude that's not ready to on the floor and then get up
Yeah,
because it happens.
Yes.
And you know that sometimes you ain't got this game that he has, but you know the move that it takes to get free from where you are because you have that determination.
Exactly.
It's a will game when you're in there, right?
That's an interesting observation you have there because that is very valuable. Someone who's maybe your specialty isn't jujitsu, but you got some good balance and some good athleticism, and you're good at someone
Well,
takes you down, you're ready to get back up
listen,
and fight.
we were at Hard Rock's event
Yes.
last 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And I don't remember which fight it was, but I thought dude was finished. I turned and looked away, and he got the submission. I don't remember which
Okay,
fight
yeah.
that
Was
was.
it a heel
I'm
hook?
telling you, BadCombo, we're sitting there, and I'm like, I had $20 on the floor. I was betting with my man. I was ready to pick up my money, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Give me that," and I go, "What happened?" And I missed the flip, but he had him down, and that dude figured out whatever it took, and then he submitted him. Which fight was that? Do you remember?
Was it? It could have been a rear naked choke. Sinjin.
It was
Sinjin's
the
rear naked choke. That
yeah.
was a wrestler submitting a very good jujitsu purple belt.
That's
so
exactly what it
nobody really
was.
expected.
But it
that
happened so
submission.
fast that I couldn't even see what he did because I looked up and he did something, and then I'm like, well, "Wait a minute, what happened?"
Yeah.
And it was a quick near rear naked choke.
Yes. I got some submissions on my in my belt. Under my
On your tapology.
Yeah. I got
You always like to pepper some strikes in before the submission. That makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
Hit someone in the face a
Get 'em
little bit easier.
drowsy.
A little bit easier to choke them.
Yeah, and then they get the smother in their face into your body, and you were like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna just take it then."
Yeah,
You putting
snatch
it there, I'm gonna take it.
Snatch it.
You know what I mean? And back for the wrestling and jujitsu thing, I get a lot of guys who like to lay and pray. Is what I don't like. Who try to win off of the points. You know what I mean? Just laying on a guy. I got a lot of love and respect for all martial arts or just jujitsu and everything for real. Well, because I do I'm all the way around. I practice martial arts. I'm not a fighter. I'm a martial artist. I'm a warrior. You know what I mean? I go all the way. So I love it.
But it's not your favorite style. If they get you down and they're going to try to submit you, there's a scramble in that. They're trying to do something. But if they get you down and they're like, all right, camped out, how much time left in the round?
Snuggling.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
that's
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
snuggling.
That's it. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I go for my little submission attempts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I train this, I practice this, I work on this, I teach this. So, my goal is to implement, what I train in. You know what I mean? If I can catch them and get them in that's the goal.
I got a question for both of you. Dugan, Kelly, you first. Which fight are you most excited to see tonight? Like, what do you, or Friday?
I'm wearing my fanboy Lance Lawrence
Well, take
t-shirt.
that out of
Okay,
it.
yeah,
Take that
Lance
out of it.
Lawrence is
We
my
all
teammate.
know
He's
we
my
want the
all-time favorite
tornado.
fighter. Yes.
We want the tornado to wreck shit.
Okay.
We know that. But I'm saying, fighting, the fighters, you've done some research.
Mhm.
What are you most looking forward to?
There's a little bit of homerism that goes into this answer too,
Yes.
though.
Okay.
But I'll be honest, Emilio.
Okay.
I think Emilio's a 205er. He's a big guy. He looks very impressive in there.
And he's had a break.
He's had a break, but he's been beating the hell out of people the entirety of that break.
Yeah.
Okay. Training. So ask any of the big guys in Louisville.
I heard.
Oh yeah,
I've done my
you hang
research.
around Austin Green. These guys, they all get good rounds, and the biggest, baddest guys in the state, they love to spar.
I've done everybody says the same thing you just said about
Yeah.
him. I found him a sponsor through RTS, which
Did
is
you?
a dumpster company, and I
Nice.
did my research before I grabbed and you know those guys. We were going to actually, Phil had suggested you, but I wanted the money to stay in the state. I did my research on him. But I'll tell you who I'm excited. Who are you excited about? Have you done any card research, or you just worried about your fight?
Which is fair. If your answer is, "Hey,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
worried
there's no
about my
bad
fight,"
answer.
I've
Yeah,
got plenty of
there's no bad combo
emotion
here.
I'm me all the way,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to see how Ilyes fight. You know what I'm saying. See how he turn up. You know what I'm saying. That's how I got this fighting Ilyes, and then as a pro, and then one of my guys that I know that I fought on the same card with, I believe it was like in Ohio. I believe I know his nickname is the Sniper. So you know what I'm saying.
So forgive my ignorance, but Kelly, can you tell us who are they fight? They're neither one of them are fighting hometown kids, right?
Who's that?
The two people you just mentioned.
Let me see the card here. I don't think neither of them are fighting hometown kids. I'll tell you who they're fighting. Just
because then I'm gonna go for them. But if they're fighting anybody from the Commonwealth,
I see.
I can't do it. I'm Commonwealth to the heart.
Ilyes
turf.
is fighting at 145 pounds, of course,
Mhm.
against Lucas Faria, who is a Brazilian. So nope.
Perfect.
Okay.
And then the Sniper is fighting.
The Sniper is. Let's see what the Sniper's name is. I don't know who it is. Do you know what weight class?
I want to say
It's all good. We'll come back to it.
maybe 55.
Okay, I'll find it here in a minute.
55, 70.
So I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing Todd fight.
That's an amateur answer. That's, and I don't mean to insult the answer, but
No,
that says something about Todd
Listen,
Pickett.
I saw him fight Hard Rock. I saw what he was able to do in that short amount of time. I think he's right behind Lance.
Oh, yeah.
I think Lance is going to step up here very soon. As a matter of fact, I'm positive of it because the calls are already coming. And I think Todd's going to be a great replacement for him being that hometown next up candidate. And I can't wait to see him get in there and do what he's got to do.
Certainly a good answer. Lance Lawrence, Todd Pickett, both trained under Professor Scott Smith at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Kentucky. Also boxing coach Junie. They're top training partners.
I also want to see Eden Hall, though. I'm
wow.
really
Wow. What about Eden Hall?
She's a beast.
I was showing my son, and one of my daughters is going with me to the fight set Friday.
I met her.
Yep. Actually, my other daughter will be with me.
Not the
Caitlin.
one that
Caitlin, you met Caitlin. We got a picture of you, me, and Caitlin. My daughter Carla will be with me Friday, and my son Johnny. And so I was telling them, hey, they don't follow MMA very closely, and I was telling them about the local fighters who are going to be on, and I was showing them a video of the last time I commentated an Eden Hall fight. And it was impressive. It was just a real aggressive liver kick that just dropped her opponent.
She's number one amateur in the state.
Yeah, so we've got a female on the card who fights out of Louisville.
So when I was watching her at first, obviously I got hip to the card once she jumped on. I was like, okay, I was checking her out. She's cute. She got a little body, whatever. But when I had lunch with her, I was like, okay, I get it now. Because I'm still learning the separation between nice guy outside the octagon and then disposition in the octagon. Because like Eric Sanchez, super nice guy. You dropped a pin, whole nother thing, right?
Sure.
So I was expecting something very different from Eden, but when I had lunch with her, and I hooked her up with my partner Laura with Artists for Trauma. To sponsor her. I was like, okay, I guess I got to come to terms with fighting is fighting and living your life is living your life.
All
When
the
you
way.
get in there, I mean, and she's got a beast of a fight though. Like her opponent is no.
Oh well, that's the thing is you get to fight on LFA.
Yeah,
I mean, no offense
it's
to
a
the
level up.
no offense to the cards I commentate for HR MMA. Brandon Hard Rock Higdon puts together some great work. I know you've done work, Bad Combo with Hard Rock.
Yeah.
But
Brandon's a man.
it's a little bit of a no offense, a little bit of a different. A lot of the fights on the undercards and things can be a little different than when you're fighting for LFA. This is a big deal. This is a step up. This is the
I think
the
Eden's
bright
ready.
lights.
I think Eden's ready. I went out and watched her train in Derby City, and I think she's poised. And she's fucking serious. I don't know if I can cuss on here.
You
but
can say whatever you'd like to say.
she's not in there fucking around. She ain't laying and praying. Like she's in there. She's rolling with men.
I was getting ready to say I'm always told she spars and trains with men.
And it did not look like. I mean, they obviously weren't getting too serious about it, but it didn't look like they were taking it easy on her, and she didn't look like she wanted them to take it easy on her either. So I'm looking forward to seeing her and Todd.
Agreed.
Everybody. I mean,
you mentioned Eric Sanchez.
Yeah, I just was with him on Wave 3.
Oh, today.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, he's got marketing. Eden
written all over.
Yeah,
him.
Eric Sanchez has a marketing type vibe to him, doesn't he?
Well, I sure as hell hope, like you said, I hope he brings whatever he needs
to
that octagon, because that marketing's all over when that pin drops or that cage door shuts.
Winning is important.
Yeah.
Well, look at what Dick Gregory said about hope, man. Y'all get the reference for real, all the way. Well, I'm really excited about fighting for LFA because I know that's that bridge to the UFC.
Oh, if there's a bridge to it, it's that.
Man, yep. and this is going to be my third fight this year. And I fought 7 times last year as a pro. I fought 4 times as a pro the year before that, and then I fought 8 times as an amateur the year before that to solidify myself and get myself into this position. So I'm excited. I'm like
he's ready.
I'm very ready.
So when we pulled up outside, I said, "Are you ready?" He said, "I wouldn't have got out of bed if I wasn't ready."
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm assuming you and Phil are working hard in the gym.
Yes.
Shout
Area
out to Phil
502,
Perkins.
man. You know what I'm saying? Phil Perkins, put the word in for me and, really let them know, like, hey, Bad Combo, like, he's a real fighter. He's real serious, like, whole body, whole spirit. Like,
I think Phil actually come to think of it. Phil mentioned your name to me the other day.
Yes.
You got to look out for Bad Combo.
Yes, Bad Combo, Mr. Back to Back. You know what I'm talking about? Dana White. You want fighters, you want warriors, you want them guys that's gonna put on the show, put on the action. You know what I'm saying? I'm entertainment all the way from the beginning to the middle to the end, from the walkout to the cage to when I leave up out the cage. Tap in. I'm Mr. Back to Back. I think I fight more than any of your fighters. Let's get it. And if I can't get on that one, I'm trying to get on karate combat, bare knuckle boxing. You know what I'm saying?
In where you fit in.
One championship. I got a family to feed. Like I said, I'm the oldest out of 11. I got people that's really looking up to me. You know what I'm saying? I got kids out here I'm adopting. I got, students and people that's looking up to me. You know what I mean? I teach women's self-defense. You know what I'm saying? I got people that's really dependent on me and looking up to me that I really take pride in supporting and being a real image for. You know what I mean? A real positive image for the show. Like, no matter what your background is or how you came up or how hard the struggle is, use that to fuel yourself to make your future and your success go.
What can you tell our listeners or our viewers about how to follow you or to support not just your fight career, but also, you said music?
Yes, man. I do everything. I'm literally a bad combination with everything. Like, I don't just do one thing. I got my own fashion line. Get you some combo kick pants. You can really see what I got. It's all custom made. I am the designer. Okay. You can go to Bad Combo Fashion Collections. You can see everything under my Instagram page, my main Instagram page at @badcombo_nation. You know what I mean? And y'all can follow the whole journey. Y'all can see everything that I'm doing and really be a part of this movement, a part of the process, and really see like how hard and how serious I'm really willing to take this. My whole body on my soul. My brother passed away December the 10th, 2018. And that is the spirit and the energy that I use to keep moving forward. You know,
my daughter's birthday is December 10th.
Man. So
It's a bad combination.
I'm trying to
Good
tell
day,
you
bad day.
all the way.
Sorry for your loss.
Man, I made peace with it. He's
Yeah.
in a better place. He's not struggling.
And he's here with us now. He's
Still with me.
everywhere.
You know, I
Yeah,
got my brother right
everywhere.
here on my shoulder. That's his name.
Everywhere.
Jahar Henry. We're gonna immortalize your name, brother. But I keep him with me. I keep him on me. And I utilize his spirit, because spirit ain't nothing but energy that can't be created nor destroyed, but transferred. So I transfer that energy, that spirit, that grief, that pain, and I utilize it to really keep moving forward. And that's what I'm promoting. That's what I'm showing people. You know what I'm saying? You can take that negativity or all that stress and that pain you live, use it as fuel to help you move forward. In the positive
In a
energy,
positive
the
way.
positive energy that people give you, use that as fuel. You know, and use that as your strength to keep going. You know what I mean? Somebody tell you something negative and they say you can't get up. You might not feel like it, but somebody say you can't do something,
Gotta go.
you're gonna get up.
Haters gonna hate.
You know what I mean?
Speaking about that, on the positive side, we're giving Police Athletic League $1,000 check towards trying to help kids, navigate through what they're going through on the West End primarily.
That's
Oh,
what I
wow.
do for free.
Okay.
Chief Humphreys is coming out. We're also
To the
going to
show
have
Friday? Wow.
Yeah, and 20 other officers will be there. LMPD, shout out to LMPD. We also got Jeff Brom coming out.
Wow.
Oscar Brom's coming out.
Wow.
And 60 U of L football players will be there.
Jeez.
Men's football. And then we got 16 women's basketball, U of L women's basketball team coming out. So we're trying to make this about Louisville, man.
Yes. Yes.
We're glad you're here, but my goal is to really create something here in Louisville that's a step above. And it's a bad combination of everything that's out there.
Yeah, we nation building. That's what I support. We nation building. I'm Louisville champion. He says he's all about Louisville. This is where I got the belt. I got my first professional title in Louisville. I'm y'all champion for real.
That would be the only homegrown league in Louisville.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Shout out to Future of Fighting.
Yep. Phil
Yes.
Perkins. Man, I saw the pictures and I didn't make it to the event. Phil's 4th Street.
Yeah,
The 4th
yeah.
Street
I
always
didn't
has a
go
good
either.
venue. They've always got pretty
Yeah, I wanted to
photos.
see
The
it.
fighters love that. The fighters love fighting at the 4th Street live venue.
I wanted to see it, but
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was the best idea to show up. But anyway,
Yeah.
So we got, it's about Louisville. So we're trying to get everybody out in Louisville to pull up and see these guys give it all they got.
You got
Guys
the
and
Brom
girls,
family,
yeah.
the football team, very impressive. It looks
Yeah.
like there will be, at least prior to the event, it looks like there will be a bigger crowd than the last time.
And we're
LFA
about
was in.
30% over the capacity we were last year. I mean, my goal was 6,000 to 8,000, and Phil, being a professional in this market, understanding the market better than me, said he didn't think it was possible, and he was right. So shout out to being right. But I still had to do what I had to do, and I had to give it a shot.
All the way.
I'm a dreamer. I'm whimsical. Shoot for the moon, land on a star. You set the tone this year. You may not get what you want this year. Maybe you get it next year. I set long-term goals, far-away goals. So I, figure out I don't even try to strategize how to get there. I just know I'm gonna get there eventually. So
Eddie, you're a big part of your mission these days is to promote Louisville LFA in the state of Kentucky.
that's right.
And that doesn't appear to be going away, does it?
Not at all. Not at all. I got some other stuff that was in the makes, which once we start to announce, me and Ed are working on a couple other things we're going to do here. But LFA is here to stay. The community loves it. All the gyms and all the other fight organizations are on our side. So I don't see us slowing down at all. For me, and I hope Ed or Sven are listening, I'd like to see a title fight next time we're here. And we were working on that this time, but the guy turned down Lance because he didn't have enough time to prepare.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'd like to see at least one title fight next time we're here. And I'm going to start working on this thing Monday, the 16th, versus 6 months before. Because part of the thing in Louisville is when you deal with civic and municipality here, he'd be a great advocate. I need to use him as an example, because they think it's just a barbaric sport that's all about violence. They don't see the art side of it. They don't see the discipline side of it. They don't see how a kid can be in the hood and not really have any solution to how to navigate through his own emotions. But then you go in there and roll, and guess what? 6 months from then, you have a little bit more handle on who you are, and not just a better physical foundation, but a mental and spiritual foundation, which helps dictate or guide you through the decisions you have to make on the fly in the hood.
Yes.
I don't know what you know about the hood, but I know a lot about the hood, and I made a lot of bad decisions because I didn't have MMA. I didn't have options. So I just chose the sexiest option standing out there on the block. But if you get in MMA, you learn how to kind of process stuff, or jujitsu, you learn how to process stuff through your spiritual system. And all of a sudden you mean more to yourself, which means your choices mean more to you.
Give you a greater purpose.
That's right.
Give you something to like actually
That's right.
strive for and look forward to.
So we're going to educate people, and you're going to help me. We're going to educate Louisville on the fact that this is not just gladiators going in there to try to take heads off, which is part of the game.
Yes.
But the way you get to that point is the most important part of it, because it is mixed martial arts.
There's some trashy people sometimes in it, but the people who get to like this level, or or fighting and doing good, the ones who win are normally very disciplined. I mean, there's no way around it. They're very disciplined.
You have to be.
And yeah, I mean,
you
there's
have to be humble too, like you said.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Like you said, that's why I bought a gi for Gracie, and I'm like, I'm not sure, I'm not humble. I'm kind of humble, but I don't know if I'm humble enough to let a man that I look like I could whoop just like wrap me up and in 30 seconds. I'm not sure I would want to return after a class if that happened to me.
Man, I want all that work.
Have you had that happen yet, Eddie?
I have not. I have not.
Okay.
The gi's hanging in the closet.
Yes. I don't mind dying in the gym. I say you come back stronger. You know what I mean? That's my philosophy.
How many days a week do you spar?
How many days a week do I spar? I try to spar as much as I can get the work in.
Okay.
A lot of guys.
So sometimes 5 days, something like
it depends. It depends. It's not really an exact number.
Okay, it depends. Leading up to fights, maybe a different amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then and it varies because, like I said, I'm independent. So I don't really have a set gym.
I got you.
know what
Okay.
I
Right
mean?
now you're training once again, Phil Perkins, Area 502 MMA.
Yep.
Shout out to they got a good team there.
Man, a great team. I'm
They
talking
do.
about. I'm feeling so dangerous. Like I was a fool before, but now I'm just something else. I'm telling you, I feel good. I feel like I already had the confidence and everything, but it's like I feel even better. Like I put myself in certain positions and situations that I know that I need to capitalize on. Like I like to put myself in those positions that's considered my weaknesses and strengthen them. You know what I mean? I don't run from it. I don't mind going against the biggest guys, the strongest guys, the black belts. You know what I'm saying? How fast can you kill me? You know what I'm saying? I might not be able to get you, but how hard of a work would I give you?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it lets me know how much I'm improving.
That's right.
Surviving, someone's trying to submit you, you're able to survive. They get a little frustrated. You're like, look, he at least has to pause. Yeah. It's like a little mini victory. If you're going against some real good black belt or something, that's how you're kind of thinking, at least for the world of jiu-jitsu. Now, jiu-jitsu and submissions in the game of MMA is kind of a different animal because when you're rolling jiu-jitsu in the gym, there's no threat at all of an elbow or a punch to your face or a knee. I mean, that's a whole different game.
Yes.
So
or a kick to the face.
Or a kick to the face.
Or the liver.
Yeah, you don't know, or they may accidentally headbutt you. It's just a whole different animal. So it's valuable to get into those positions as a training, right?
Very.
Yeah. So you're in there getting submitted and
man, I'm getting all the work.
Yeah.
I'm getting all the work, so that way it ain't new or surprising when I get into the fight.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well
a lot of
balanced.
guys running from it, but when you get into the fight, you know what I'm saying? That's when you're supposed to already know. You're supposed to lose in the gym. You're supposed to win in the fight in the cage. That's what it is for real. I ain't going to the gym trying to win or beat up nobody. Beat me up. Let me see. Level me up.
Show me what you got.
Level me up.
Well, BadCombo, thank you very much for coming on the show today. Best of luck. Best of luck Friday. I'll be there cheering you on. Certainly not familiar with your opponent, so you officially have my endorsement. I'm cheering for BadCombo. I'm not doing the commentary. If I'm doing the commentary, I try to avoid. Yeah, I do try to avoid all that.
Oh yeah, hold up. I want to say something else too. We're giving away some Louder Than Life tickets.
Okay.
At the fight, some lucky seat winners. There's a couple different ways we're giving those out. So Danny Wimmer stepped up to really help us with some marketing dollars for this fight. So we're going to give away some Louder Than Life tickets. Want to shout out Sports Commission for all the help that they gave us. Most importantly, Derby City Pizza. Larry over at Derby City Pizza really leaned in and helped us promote this fight. He's going to have his pizza eater truck or car parked outside. So there's going to be a lot of good stuff going on the ground there.
I love it. Eddie, you've put a lot of work into getting the fighters on the card, sponsors. Obviously, that helps the fighters, the amateur and professional fighters. What's the return, in your opinion, on a local business owner who's investing in something like that? How would you describe that?
Well, It's interesting you said that. Like I'll use, knuckle sandwich, right? Brandon, he's
Yes.
new, he's young. Hunter, he's new, he's young. Those guys are going to remember LFA 210 and LFA 2, whatever the next one is, because of the access that they had to something that before they started seemed so inaccessible. So imagine if you're barely getting by, you're AM, so you can't get paid, and somebody gives you $300-400. It means a lot at this stage in your career.
Very.
So then they go and become Alex Pereira. They're going to remember the guys that gave them those small checks when they really needed it a lot more than when they got the check that they deserve at that point in their career, because the only reason they're getting it is because of what they've already done, not what they're going to do. So I like planting seeds. I believe that's planting seeds. Somebody gave me a chance. Puffy hired me. No disrespect to what he's doing now, and but when he hired me, I was nobody. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget the chance that I got. And this is not the
What year was
same.
that he hired you?
94, 93. But my point is getting in on the ground floor. It's not what I'm going to get out of it later, but it's them. What people do for you. You remember, right? You got some people
All
that
the
helped you
way.
early on. Wherever you are in your relationship now, at the pinnacles of your career and your evolution, what those little things were, and that's what I like to do. With
That's how-
nothing in return. I just, it inspires people to keep going because somebody else is looking out for them with no expectation in return.
That's what keeps me grateful and appreciative.
Yeah, so that's why I tried to reach out and get every Louisville sponsor hire, every Louisville fighter a sponsor. Small money, but next year we're going to do better. Next year we can work harder. And then the business is what they get out of it is they're making money. They're in business every day. They're earning. They get a chance to give back. Everybody talks about giving back, but everybody's not really giving back. They just talking about giving back. So I'd like to provide a platform for local businesses to really give back and not only give them some money, but Eric Sanchez came to Fonte's Coffee for Easter dinner with us. Like he's a part of the squad now. It's not just about
and that's not a
logo on
huge
the shorts.
investment, not a
Not
huge
at all.
investment
Not
by
at
any
all.
of those
You
sponsors.
gain
Is it?
friends and family members if the relationship works out.
Yeah. That's what I call nation building. Bad combo nation.
Bad combo.
Bad combo. Well, Bad Combo, thank you very much for coming on the show. Eddie, of course, thanks as always for coming on the show. Looking forward to the Freedom Hall event this Friday, June 13th, right here, Louisville, Kentucky, LFA. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Of course, we will have another episode out